everyone. My name's Laura Waghorn. I'm the Training and Development Manager here at LEMD, and we are thrilled to welcome the incredible Blair Critch. She's on our call today, and Blair is a mum of two. She's got two teenagers at home, and she's a true warrior, okay? She is a cancer survivor who's transformed her journey into a powerful passion for longevity and just for general health. Okay, she lives in sunny South Florida with her husband Ryan, and she's dedicated to helping women feel absolutely the best they could ever feel about themselves. So welcome, Blair. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you. So excited.
We are so excited to have you. And it's our lucky day because we don't just have Blair. We don't just have one person. We have two amazing ladies that are going to talk to you today. And we're really excited to welcome Jess Winfrey. Okay, Jess began sharing her personal health and her weight loss journey on social media back in 2018. And that was basically to hold herself accountable. And in 2023, she began her journey after she got diagnosed with PCOS. And she embarked on her own GLP-1 journey, and she became like an authority figure, giving advice and help. And she's been featured on Washington Post, and she's a really respected contributor towards the multiple news outlets on GLP-1 and longevity. So we've got Jess on today, who's not going to talk much about her GLP-1 journey, but about the new products that she's trying. So welcome, Jess. We're really excited to have you here.
I am super excited to be here as well.
Fantastic. So I am going to start with you, Jess. I want you to really motivate these people and empower these people by your story. So you have started on some new products. Okay. You have started taking our B12 and the NAD nasal spray. So can you tell us a little bit about why you got started on those medications?
Yeah. So in October of 2023, I started GLP-1 medication, and I have had so much success with that. But there are only so many things that GLP-1 touches, right? And there are a lot of other things going on in my body that I wanted to look into treating that worked in conjunction with the GLP-1 meds. And the more that I looked into NAD plus and B12, I was like, you know what? I really think that this is going to help touch some of the other things that I'm struggling with. So as most of you would know, if you're on a GLP-1 med, sometimes the fatigue can really get to you. And that's one of the biggest things that pushed me over into really wanting to try the NAD plus and the B12 together, because I saw a lot of research and a lot of studies that were really touting the benefits of the energy that came with it. And I've only been on it for a week. So I just started 7 days ago. Today was my 7th little squirt. And I really, truly am starting to feel more energy and just better, even better than I was before.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So you started using the NAD and the B12 at the same time, correct?
Yeah. So the instruction on the B12 box says that you can take it 1 to 4 times a week. I wanted to start low and slow. That's kind of my mantra. Low and slow wins the race. And so I just did it once a week. So I did it last Thursday, and then I took another 20 units today. But the NAD plus nasal spray, it can be taken twice a day if you want to. And you do 1 squirt in one nostril and 1 squirt in the other. And again, I'm only doing it once a day, but I'm doing it every morning. So it's been really interesting.
So now you've started them. You say you've only been on it kind of a week. But what have you noticed from using both of the products together? What have you noticed beneficiary-wise for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I truly have felt just more energized. Like I have felt like I can conquer the world, and I already feel like I'm conquering the world, but I feel like I've had just even more of a drive and motivation to do that. Even in my day job, I've felt more mental clarity. I felt like I've been able to take on more tasks and complete more tasks, and I just feel better. It's one of those things where I don't feel like at the end of the day I need to just go and sit on my couch and decompress. I feel like this supplement is helping me to prolong the energy throughout the day and just not feel so defeated from stress and anxiety and all of the things that I struggle with every day. So I really do feel that has been one of the major benefits, but also I have started to notice my sleep. I feel like I'm getting like deeper sleep, which is weird because I'm already a pretty heavy sleeper. But there's a difference between being like a heavy sleeper and then a restorative like sleep cycle. And I feel just like, okay, I wake up in the morning and I feel refreshed. So in just a week, that is how I am feeling. And I didn't realize that that was one of the things that like I didn't even look into that. I didn't look into what would happen to my sleep pattern. And then I was like, man, I just feel really good this morning. And I haven't even taken the spray yet. And then the more that I looked into it, and because I'm always trying to research, I'm always trying to look into it. I was like, oh, more and more people are talking about the benefits that it is providing for your sleep. And so I was like, okay, well, that tracks. I'm feeling that. No one had to tell me that that was happening, and it's actually happening. So felt good that that wasn't something I was telling myself was happening, but it wasn't really.
Oh, I love that. So when you say, like you said, you take it in the morning, have you like missed a dose and like thought, oh, I'm going to take it after lunch?
No, I'm really consistent with my morning routine. I'm a girly that likes routines. I need to have my routine. So I wake up first thing and I get my little drink together to start my day, and I take my drink and then I squirt my squirts. And it's been very consistent, even on the weekends. I mean, I did sleep in a little bit this weekend, so it was a little bit later than normal on Saturday and Sunday, but it is the first thing that I have done every day for the past 7 days.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So because it's a nasal spray, is it irritating your nose? Is it giving you any side effects?
I would say that maybe the first 2 or 3 days, it took me a minute to get used to. I'm not used to squirting anything up my nostrils. So I did feel like maybe similar to like a sinus strip, like if you have sinuses and that your sinuses are draining. I did feel that the first couple of days, and I was like, maybe this is just normal. But eventually, like the past 2 days, 2.5 days or so, I haven't felt that. So maybe I was experimenting with like how far I would stick it up in my nose. So like maybe that's what it is. Maybe the further you stick it up, then it doesn't have that effect, because the last couple of days I've really been shoving it up there. But no, it's I think that maybe it was just me getting used to it, not having something and like my body needing to get used to that. But other than that, no, I haven't had any other weird, there is no like taste or any funky thing like that. My nose isn't constantly running. And it's just, it was that initial, like, it felt like a sinus strip. That's really the only thing that I felt as far as the spray itself.
So have you had any other side effects since you've been taking both of these together?
So it's hard. It's hard for me to say yes or no to this because I am on a GLP-1 medication and because I did increase my dosage last week as well. So I've had a little bit of a headache, maybe 1 or 2 days, but nothing that I couldn't manage and that I haven't already managed. And there was one day that I did feel a little bit nauseous, but really the side effects that I'm experiencing is just the more energy. It's just, I feel like I can just get up and go. That's, and it's almost pretty, it's instant for me. Like as soon as I spray, within like 20 minutes, I just feel, okay, you've got this. You can go about your day.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to bring Blair on now, but I want you to stay there, Jess, because I know you are on GLP-1s as well. So I want you to be involved in the next part of the conversation, but we are going to be talking more about the NADs because I know, Blair, you take the injection version, don't you?
Yes.
So this is great to see the two different sides of the nasal spray and the injection. So Blair, tell us why you got into taking the NAD.
Yes. So actually, I'm so excited about LEMD because I'm spending way less money now on the NAD through you guys than I was spending for the last year and a half. So I started on NAD. I actually read about it and learned about it when I was going through my ovarian cancer back in 2020 and 2021. And I read about how amazing it is. I actually even saw Tony Robbins talking about it. He was like, this is the aging backwards peptide. And so I started researching and learning more. I learned about how it creates cellular regeneration. And so as soon as I got the all clear from my doctor and I was allowed to start using it, I thought about using it. But then I waited a little bit. And when I finally started using it, one of the things that I had going on was I actually had this weird foot pain. I can't describe it or like even explain what it was. They thought maybe it was a neuropathy, but it wasn't. I tried everything, you guys. Like talk about dry needling on the top of your foot. Can you imagine? It was so painful. I tried compression. I tried, they're all different kinds of therapies, and nothing would work. And so after getting started on these injections, on the NAD injections, 4 days in, it was gone. It's never come back. I also used to have some neck discomfort sometimes from doing yoga poses and stuff, totally gone. I also noticed that I had a little extra pep to my step, a little extra energy, good mood. I had great mental clarity. But then it was really at the end of the second week that I was taking them, and I take my injections twice a week, that I was like, wait a minute, my skin looks different. Like my face looks thinner. The inflammation in my face went away. I had already been losing weight at that point, and I was like, wow, my face looks so much better. My skin looks better. I noticed I had all these baby hairs at the top of my head, and I was like straight in the middle of really bad menopausal symptoms. And all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I'm not complaining about hot flashes all day. I haven't probably had a hot flash at all today, which is crazy. So all of a sudden I was just having all these amazing things happening. And then a week later, I realized that my cellulite was gone and my crepey skin, which if you're not in menopause, you might not know what that is, but it's like this weird skin thing that happens. And it's unbelievable. And so I was on it for about probably 6 months before I got my husband on it. He's also on it and has had amazing experiences. He swears it not only helps him with his skin, but it helps him get rid of his under eye bags because he has very light skin. And it also helps his digestive system. Like he doesn't get that gurgly belly that you sometimes get, like the rumbling belly. You know what I'm talking about? It's helped him with that too. So I am like a huge fan of NAD. Our 18-year-old just started on it as well. And our 20-year-old, we purchased the nose spray. It just hasn't come in for him yet because he's off at college. So yeah, we're huge fans.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? All these different stories from people. So how long have you been on it exactly?
I started on it in May of 2023. So like a year and a half now.
Fantastic. And have you had any side effects that aren't pleasant?
No, but I will tell you, I was off of it for a week, a couple weeks ago because I was waiting for my LE. I didn't plan it correctly. So I was out and then I ordered LEMD like a couple days before I realized we were out. So we did have to go about 8 days without it. And I'll tell you, like my husband and I, we both had stomach issues, headaches. We were tired. We both had bags underneath our eyes. We were like, wow, this stuff really does work. Like sometimes you got to get off something to realize how much it works. But neither one of us had any side effects when we started. I mean, nothing at all. Even the injection, for some reason, is so much easier than any of my other injections that I take. It's just so simple, and it's a small amount.
And you take yours twice a week. What about your husband and your children? Are they on the same routine as you?
So my husband and I both do twice a week. My 18-year-old is like, I will do once a week. Because this is new for him, being injected in his stomach, and he barely has any fat, so it's like even harder. And then my older one, who's 20, he's waiting for his nose spray to arrive. So he's in Alabama at college, so they only had.
And is that because he doesn't like needles?
No, actually, it was only available in the nose spray in that state, but also he has sinus issues. And I had researched and learned from a few people that they had mentioned that it helps with sinuses. And so I actually went and researched it, and it does. So I was like, oh, even better. I'm glad you're getting the nose spray because he is taking allergy meds every day, which I don't love. And so I'm really hoping that this is going to get him off of those and be able to just do this every single day.
Yeah. So we've just had a question come in. Anyone had a skin reaction to the NAD plus injections? So both of you guys, obviously, Jess, you're on the nasal spray. Blair, you're on the injection. Have you noticed anything with your skin?
No, I would say the best spot though is your lower belly, like where you have like some fat. Try to pinch it and try to pinch it when you inject yourself. And then no, like, I mean, I think maybe my husband has much lighter skin than me, so he gets skin irritations much easier. I think maybe the first time I injected him, maybe the first and second time, he had a little bit of redness there, but nothing like that didn't just go away very quickly. And every once in a while, we'll have a bruise, and that's just because of our own injection. Like, it's the way that we're injecting ourselves. So, don't go too fast. I'm a fast injector.
And what about you, Jess, with the nasal spray? Have you noticed any changes in your skin over the last week,
I
whether
mean,
they're good or bad?
I would love to say that, my wrinkles are starting to go away, and, maybe they are. I don't know. That was one of the things whenever I was researching it and it talked about the cellular regeneration. I was like, okay, collagen production. Hello, I'm ready for that. Let's do this. So I have the before pictures. The before pictures are done. I'm just ready for the after pictures. So I'll keep you posted.
Yes,
Well, I'm pretty
absolutely. We
sure
can't
Jess
wait to
is
see
much
those.
younger than me, but yes, I'll tell you as you look way younger than me, but I'm 46 and I haven't done Botox since before I had cancer. So before COVID days, and I don't do filler or anything like that. And I have people stop me all the time and say like, what are you doing? Your skin looks so good. What products are you using? Like, this is it. NAD does completely change your skin. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm going to change it up a little bit now. Blair, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here because I didn't warn you about this, but
Oh.
I know you are taking another medication besides the GLP-1s.
Yes.
So are you open to just talking
Yeah,
just a little
totally.
bit about it?
Yeah. Yes. So I'm sure you're talking about PT 141.
I am
Yeah. All
indeed.
right. Let's get in there, people. We're going to talk about some sexual health. All right. So I am in menopause. And so when I saw that product, I was like, okay, I might need to try that. I asked Honey a little bit about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I ordered it and I do the injection. You can get no spray or injection. I'm just like, I know the injections work and the bioavailability is the best. So that's what I'm going to go with. I use it about 2 to 3 days a week. I try to use it on the day that I know we're going to be having some, spicy time. And for me, I had to kind of play around with it. I found that taking it right before we're going to be intimate actually doesn't really do much for me. I have to take it a few hours before. And what I noticed when I take it a few hours before is I actually have the desire to have sex. Like, I don't know, a lot of women after we go through, menopause and our hormones change and life stuff, it's hard to have that desire like we used to. So that's exciting for me. I have a great marriage and I actually want to have sex with my husband. So to actually be the one that initiates it, I think is a really positive thing in a marriage. And also, I noticed that, like, for me, it's even more pleasurable because it's one of the things that I researched is that it's adding more circulation to your body, especially in your genital areas. So I'm noticing that I'm enjoying that more. Lubrication is better. I'm also noticing that I'm much tanner. So this is something that Honey told me. She was like, they actually call it the Barbie peptide because not only does it help with sexual arousal, but it also brings out the melatonin in your skin. So it helps you look tanner. And I was running errands last Saturday and ran into people, all over town. And 3 people said, oh my gosh, you're so tan. And I have not been in the sun at all lately. And then the third thing that it helps you do is decrease your appetite a little bit. So that's why they call it the Barbie peptide. So it's an amazing product. I highly recommend it if that's something that you want to, maybe help out yourself with a little bit. And men can use it too. It's not just for women. I just felt like my husband does not need help in that department, but I definitely did. So I'm so glad I ordered it. And you can take it
Yeah,
up to
I
3
love
times
it.
a
I
week.
can see like Beth has just commented. She's like, the
Oh my
website's about
God.
to crash because it's one of those subjects people don't like to talk about. Okay. And I can see Jess is sitting there. She's like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to try this one next.
It is
Oh,
awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Add
Well,
to
thank you
cart.
for sharing that. It's amazing that you was open, and we really appreciate your open and honesty around that because it's one of those subjects that people shy away from, but it's
Yeah,
human nature. It is human nature. So
absolutely.
thank you for
Just be
sharing that.
able
I
to
know I
enjoy
put you
it,
on the
guys.
spot there. I really
Yeah,
put you
no
on the
problem.
spot there, but thank you so much. I can see Beth is laughing. I can see it. Okay, I'm going to swing it back round now. I'm going to swing it round to the GLP-1s because I know both of you have also been taking GLP-1s. So, Jess, I know you are a complete advocate for this and you really put it out there and you want to help people with this. So, just tell us a little bit about your GLP-1 journey.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I have been aware of GLP-1s probably for the last 3 years or so. I had a friend whose doctor actually prescribed it to her, but I was like, I'll never get approved for that. I don't have diabetes. And at that time, that was all you could get it for. And at the end of last year in October, I was diagnosed with PCOS. And the more research I did, the more people were talking about how the GLP-1 was helping with the symptoms of PCOS. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my health into my own hands. I am not going to go through an insurance company and just get denied. I'm ready to start this now. So I did as much research as I could into a reputable telehealth provider. And I went with the company, and they actually gave me good meds, but it wasn't great service. So after the first 2 months, and I really just started feeling better, I was like, okay, I've got to keep doing this. And then, came across the lovely people here. And ever since then, it's been the one thing that I want to advocate about the most. So from October to April, I lost 25 pounds. I am a very slow and steady wins the race. And then from June to now, I've lost an additional 25 pounds. So 50 pounds in almost a year. We're coming up on my 1 year anniversary of GLP-1 life. But the one thing that I will say is, at first I was so consumed with, okay, well, what's the weight loss going to be like, that I wasn't paying attention to all of the other things that were happening in my body and all of the other things that it was helping. And it wasn't until June that I was like, oh my gosh, my inflammation, I feel amazing. I didn't realize that it was taking out this inflammation. And if I wasn't on it for like a week, I could feel that inflammation coming back. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a forever medication for me. Maybe not for other people, but this is something that I just don't want to live my life without. And so my goal is just to advocate for it and to be a positive voice, because there's so much negativity about it. I just want to spread truth and facts and support people who also want to be on a GLP-1 journey and just need that extra motivation and safety blanket. I like to call myself a safety blanket for people who are looking into starting a GLP-1 journey as well.
Yeah, that's brilliant. You're having such great success with this. I absolutely love it. So what would you say to someone who would say to you, okay, so you're taking GLP-1s, you're taking the NAD, you're taking the B12. Why do you feel you need to take all three? What would you say to those people?
Because they all do something different. And I am looking to spend the rest of my life feeling the best that I can. And I need something to address the fatigue that I was feeling. I need something to address the mental, I felt so weighted down that the GLP wasn't really touching for me. Like, the GLP-1 was touching all of these other things. And I wanted to feel more well-rounded with my internal health. And that's when I really just started looking into, okay, what supplements can I take that will work in conjunction with the GLP-1? Because I'm not going to get rid of the GLP-1 ever. Like, I never am going to. But I want to find the things that work for me, that make me feel the best that I can feel. And so far, so good with that NAD. Like, if I can find the fountain of youth, I am ready. I'm going to be going into 40 soon, like, I'm ready. I'm going to be proactive with that. So that's the goal.
Well, the next one to add. Blair's already told you the next one to add.
Don't worry.
It
was already in my cart before, and now it's going to be purchased. So thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So I have just noticed that Honey Sigari is on the call. She is LEMD's founder and CEO. Welcome, Honey. So I'm going to bring you on quickly, Honey. And you are a GLP-1 user, and you are a user of many of the medications. So before we bring Blair on to tell her GLP-1 story, would you like to share yours?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Blair, I caught the tail end of your story, so I would love for you to tell it again, because I saw a lot of giggles. I want to hear the whole thing. And Jess, congratulations. Wow, 50 pounds. That's a lot to celebrate. Like, if you actually hold two 25-pound dumbbells, I'm like, I just got rid of this. That's how you really know. Imagine all the impact that's off your joints, and congratulations, truly. And that's just on the outside. Like, imagine what's happening on a cellular level. And my story, very similar to a lot of people's. I was ashamed. I was just, it's like walking in a shoe that's two sizes too tight, but you're walking, it hurts, and you're doing it. And I didn't even own a scale. I didn't have mirrors in my house. I was 235 pounds, 235. Okay. I'm in like the 140s. I fluctuate a little bit here and there, but and finally I was just so sick of being sick. I wanted a quick fix, I guess. I was just desperate, and I booked a flight out to Mexico, Tijuana, Mexico, literally like a week ahead of time, in 1 week. So I scheduled it today, and then in 1 week was my surgery. And I flew out. I didn't tell a single person. I was so ashamed to let anyone know about my surgery, my bariatric surgery. Went there, and I wish it was like a great outcome. So came back, did the follow-up in Michigan, and my body was rejecting the port site, and it was just pain after pain. And then my stomach flipped on itself, and oh my God, it was just, and then they took out the port site, they left the catheter in, that caused complications. It was just a nightmare. For 9 months, I went through that, in and out of hospitals, thousands and thousands of dollars of hospital bills that I had to pay out of pocket. So then that's when I made it my own mission. I was like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to learn everything I know about nutrition. And for me, it really came down to a protein game. That's what I called it. It was a protein game. Like, get enough protein in and you lose the weight. Don't get protein, you don't lose weight. So I was able to lose a significant amount of weight on my own, over 50 pounds. I think it was around 60, 65, 70, somewhere around there. I don't even remember, but it was a lot. It was significant in a very short period of time. And then after that, I had baby number 1. And then shortly after, a few months later, I had baby number 2. And I just couldn't get my weight down after baby number 2. And I did all the old tricks that I had tried before, you know, the protein thing, and it was just not going down. And I struggled. I went to the gym every day. I was working out. I was closing my rings. And so I went to a conference, and one of my friends, it was actually my friend's husband. He was, and it was a longevity conference I was at. And I was seeing some of the booths that were talking about compounded GLP-1s. And so I went out to dinner with my friend and her husband, and he's like, I've lost 80 pounds on this, what we know as tirzepatide. I was like, no kidding. I'm seeing it at these booths as compounded, that the pharmacies are advertising that they're bringing out the compounded version now. So I got on it myself, and I lost a significant amount of weight, initially on semaglutide, and then after that on tirzepatide, and it just came off. It was just, I couldn't shed after a certain limit, and it came back to the protein game. I was able to get my protein up, and the weight came down. So now I'm at a point, I'm now like 100 pounds down, guys, like 100 pounds. That's so much weight to bring down. And I'm at a point where it's just a maintenance dose for me. I've listened to my body. Again, the point of these medications is not to go up in dose. It's to find your sweet spot and ride that sweet spot until you need to up your dose. So that's my recommendation, to really listen to your body. That's why we make that 3-month assessment for all of you. And we ask the question, like, where are you in your journey? Your journey is so different than Blair's, than Jess. And so our bodies are very unique. They respond to medications very differently. So my sweet spot is 5 milligrams of tirzepatide, and I injected once every 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I'm listening to my body now. Now I'm not looking to lose a significant amount of weight, right? I'm in that maintenance phase, but I listen to my body, and when those cravings start coming, and those, you know, the food noise is back, and I have an addictive personality. Like a lot of people, food is an addiction, right? It's a coping mechanism for us. So it just really takes the edge off. And not only that, it gives me some comfort to know that I have this tool. If I ever slip up, I have this tool. Just that safety and that security of knowing, like, I have a tool, and I slip up, my life is stressful, the hormones changed, and all these different things happen. I can always revert back to that, and it'll put my body back on track, and I'm good to go. And then I recently went to a conference, a peptide certification course over the weekend. And my God, it was a room full of physicians, doctors were all there. to learn about the power of peptides, all different types of peptides, and learning about GLP-1 medications effects on all cellular mechanisms in our body, okay? Like, think about it. Aging is it's a metabolic disease, right? Like, we don't have to age at the rate that we're aging. So, and if you think about insulin and sugar and all of these things, like, it's your metabolism dictates a lot of other processes in your body. So it's no wonder that these drugs play a role in a lot of other systems and processes, making your mitochondria perform better and just your immune system. And it plays a role in inflammation and neurodegenerative disease. I mean, all the studies are out there. They're coming out. Heart health, right? Cardiovascular health. They're coming out with all these studies. And it was funny because Dr. Seeds, he's a peptide guru. Like, anyone who knows about the world of peptides knows that Dr. Seeds, they call him the godfather of peptides. He's been talking about peptides back before people were really talking about it. But he said, for the last decade, I've been shouting at the top of my lungs about GLP-1 medications. And finally, people are waking up. Finally, doctors are embracing it as a drug to put their patients on for preventative measures, right? So it was just reassuring. And I'm like, holy cow, maybe we should all be microdosing. So I came back and I was sharing the news, and my friend who's very healthy and he's an athlete, and he's like, should I be microdosing this? And I'm like, yes, there's studies out there that are talking about microdosing GLP-1s for all of its health benefits, even in healthy patients. It's a longevity drug. So we are a longevity company. This is a longevity drug. And I can't speak highly enough about these medications. They've been life-changing for me personally. They've been life-changing for so many people that I know, and it's exciting. We're entering, I think, the last peptide that was as revolutionary as this one was insulin itself, right, which is a peptide. So that changed the game back in the 1920s. That's when they came out with insulin, and it really helped a lot of people, right? And I think these GLP-1s are going to be the drug of our century, really, for the next 100 years. We're going to be talking about these medications. And I love how they're, it's this peptides, we talk about it. It's this like word that it's this middle ground between the nutraceutical world and the prescription, the prescription grade world, right? They work with your body's natural processes. So I love it. I would never advocate for a medication that I don't believe in wholeheartedly. And I believe in these drugs, the power they have. So anyways, I'm going to pass it on to you, Laura, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
I think everybody's excited, honey. What you've brought to the market is helping so many people. And I know so many people are so grateful for what you are putting together here.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
On that note, I want to hear Blair's story for her GLP-1s. Obviously, she shared her NAD story. She shared her PT141 story, even though I put her on the spot for that one. I didn't pre-warn her for that one. And you did amazing. So I'd love to know about your GLP-1 story, Blair.
Sure. Well, thank you. So, honey, that was great too. And so for me, again, the ovarian cancer thing, I had this lower belly weight. I was, going through menopause, and I eat really clean, or I try to most of the time. I had gone pretty much completely plant-based during my cancer, and I feel so good eating that way, but I was gaining weight. I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was exercising, eating really healthy, and no matter what I did, I kept gaining this belly fat. And it was really stressing me out because, again, when you have a lot of belly fat, there's a lot of estrogen being held there. And that made me nervous, being that my cancer was estrogen driven. And so went to my functional PA and said, like, what are we going to do about this? And she was like, I really think you should get on semaglutide. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, right. Oh, we've all heard some like horrible stories out there. So she gave me a bunch of research to go look at. I started looking at it, and I said, you know what? I trust you. You've already got me on NAD and glutathione. I'm feeling freaking amazing. So like, let's do it. So I got started on it, and the first couple of weeks, I'll be honest, I had a little bit of nausea. I had to kind of work through like how to get enough protein. That was really hard for me because, like I said, I eat mostly plant-based. So I had to figure out ways to make sure I got a certain amount of protein in every single meal. And by around week 3 or 4, I felt incredible and was starting to lose about a half a pound to a pound every single week. And after about, I think, 7 or 8 months, I dropped 33 pounds. I felt incredible. And that was what was so interesting to me. I was already really feeling good. And then all of a sudden I added in this GLP-1 and I felt even better, which was so crazy to me. And then January came of this year and I was like, okay, I'm at the weight I want. I'm going to go off of it. And I went off of it for a month and I noticed that my mood wasn't as good. I noticed that my sleep wasn't as good. I noticed that I wasn't as clear thinking and the food noise was back. And I was like, you know, all that noise and worrying about what I was going to eat and what it was going to be. And oh my gosh, if I eat this, then I got to make sure I don't eat that tomorrow. You know, that whole game, instead of eating to fuel my body, I was playing that manipulation game with myself again. And I told the person who I was working with, and she suggested that I microdose, which I didn't even know what that meant. And so very similar to what Honey was just saying, like I figured out what was right for my body and I stick with that. So I take a very small amount. I barely even pull my syringe. And I actually do that once a week. And lately, since we've been very busy these last few weeks building this amazing business, I noticed that I was a little bit, my body was maybe a little bit more jacked up than usual. And so I've actually been microdosing twice a week the last couple of weeks, and the food noise is gone again. I feel incredible. And I'm just so thankful for the products. And again, just like I said with the NAD, like sometimes you have to go off something to realize how much it's really helping you. And so going off of it in January was just a great testimony for me to know that these products are more than just a weight loss product, right? Like I'm reading the research, I understand what it's saying, but like I physically could feel the difference. And if it's making me feel better and reducing the inflammation in my body, I am all in. So yeah, that's my story.
So Blair, did you have any side effects when you started on the GLP-1s? Obviously, everybody talks about the positives, and we know that they can come with side effects for people. So did you experience any?
I did. I had a little bit of nausea, you know, the first couple of weeks, and they offered me some Zofran and, you know, alternative things like that. I personally just worked through it. It was nothing like going through chemo. So I was like, I got this. I'm fine. I'll have some ginger tea. I'll be fine. And I really was fine. And I can't think of any other side effect besides that. Now, I will say one other side effect was I did not want to eat a lot that first month. I had to really train myself to eat. Right? Like I really did not want to eat, but I know it's important to eat. So I tried to take those moments to retrain my neural pathways in my brain of like, we're eating to fuel our body. We're eating to fuel our body. We are eating protein. We are eating this to fuel our body. Instead of it being about like, what do I feel like eating today? I really changed the way I thought about food, and it's stuck with me this past year, which I just think is so incredible.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest questions we actually get asked is, when you fancy a snack, what is your go-to snack when you're on the GLP-1? Because obviously you need that protein, you need the water intake. So Jess, obviously you've been on GLP-1s for a while. You're an advocate for it. What's your go-to snack?
Turkey meat, like deli turkey meat. That's my go-to. And pickles, like sliced pickles and turkey meat. That's it. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to eat.
And what about you, Blair? Do you have a go-to snack?
I mean, mine change up, honestly. I don't have something I like really crave all that much. Mine changes a lot. I eat a lot. I mean, I'm plant-based, so I eat a lot of vegetables. Every once in a while, though, if I'm craving something, I will get like a spoonful of peanut butter. There's nothing like peanut butter. A little banana and peanut butter makes my day.
I can see some comments coming in here. George agrees with you, Jess. That's his favorite snack. And I can see Julie's on, and she's saying Taco Bell cheese roll up and add beef. That's brilliant. Honey, what's your go-to snack? Because obviously you know what proteins your body needs and the water intake, and you know you can't just dive into the chocolates and the chips. And so what do you go for?
Well, it's amazing when your body's regulated, how little how it just doesn't crave junk food. You know, I think our bodies just need to go back to this state of like homeostasis and balance. And once you go, you don't crave, you want healthy food. But mine is the barbell protein bars. I do that to get the protein. It's delicious. They sell it at Trader Joe's, and I get like 20, 30 of them. They're $2.29 each one. So I get that. And then yeah, that's the main one, because I struggle with getting protein. So that's my go-to snack, I guess.
I think before, when I've talked to people about GLP-1s before, they've always said about a protein shake. Do you guys take protein shakes alongside these?
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I drink the Premier protein drinks like almost every day. Like every morning I'll mix them up with some yogurt on top of all of that too. I'm all about the yogurt and protein.
Yeah. Can I also mention chia seeds, like how much protein chia seeds
Yes.
have? So now I'm like, I'm all about the gut microbiomes and yogurts, trying to get like some yogurt and protein and doing things that are like that knock out a couple things at once. I'm all about efficiency. So I do my yogurt and I just dump a ton of chia seeds in there. And it's like, and it gives that little crunch to it, and a little bit of that jelly once it gets stuck in your teeth. You got a snack for like 2 hours later. Gross. But anyways, chia seeds. I'm all about it.
Chia seeds will keep you full for a long time too, which is
Yeah.
so great. Yeah. So
Wow.
I do make a protein smoothie in the morning. That's usually the first thing I break my fast with a bunch of greens. And I either use chia seeds or hemp seeds to get a little extra protein in there. A vegan protein mix that I use, and some fruits and vegetables. But I will say one of the biggest tips I can give you guys is if you want to get your microbiomes right, because that's what you're doing here. It fixes your digestive system too, is eat different. Like don't eat the same thing every single day. You don't want to get your body off craving things, right? So use this time while you're on GLP-1 to set new habits and new behaviors. So trying out different colored vegetables that maybe you're not used to, different kinds of fruits, different kinds of protein. It's so good for your body to have different things. It's so good for your microbiomes. And then one other really crazy thing is now I actually want to work out. Do you notice that, Jess? Like I was not a big workout person before. I did it because I know I needed to. And like, I gotta go to yoga today and I gotta go for a walk. Like I don't love it, but now I cannot wait to go work out. I don't know if it's the cute little clothes that I can wear now that I never looked cute in before, or if it's like the actual workout, but I am obsessed with working out now.
Yeah, I definitely feel more of the motivation to work out. Whereas before it was like, okay, I've got to do this. Now it's like, okay, now I want to do it. So.
I love it. Somebody's asking about fasting on GLP-1s, and that's something that you just mentioned there, Blair. You said you have your shake in the morning to break your fast. So do you have set times that you eat?
So when I first started last summer, I decided I've always loved how I feel when I did intermittent fasting, but I never could stick with it before. I would always just mess it up. So I was like, I'm going to try this when I start GLP-1. So when I first started, I actually got up to 18-hour fast, but I don't do like where I have to stop at a certain time at night. I would just, whenever I was done eating, I'd set an alarm. And then when it went off the next morning, that's when I broke my fast. But in January, I actually got to be a little too thin and I didn't like the way I was looking. And so I went back to just 14-hour fast. So for me, 14-hour fast is perfect. I don't have any digestive issues. I feel so much better. I feel lighter. So I go 14 hours, but I don't tell myself you have to stop eating at this time at night. Like I'll probably eat something after this Zoom, and then I'll set my alarm after that for 14 hours. And then I break my fast. And I always make sure I break my fast with at least 40 grams of protein.
That's some great advice right there. That really is. Now, ladies, we could talk about this for hours. We really could, but we have to wind this down. So from you, Jess, anybody who's considering taking any of these medications, whether it's the GLP-1, whether it's the NAD nasal spray or the B12, what would your recommendations for them be?
Well, it's going to depend on, what your budget is. If you want to start slow, I would highly recommend the NAD Plus to start to see how you feel. But if you have other things that you need to address, like other things that your body needs that the GLP-1 helps with, I will always recommend GLP-1 to anyone, no matter what. It will help. To me, I feel like it can help everyone at some point, but I would say if you're budget conscious, maybe try NAD Plus to start and then see where that takes you.
Fantastic. And what would you say, Blair, if somebody was just starting out on their journey, they've heard all of these different stories, they're like, I don't know which one to go for. What would be your first pick of the medications that you're on?
Well, it's so hard because here's the thing. If you want to lose weight, I always say go with the GLP-1 because you're going to also get the reduction of the inflammation and the other health benefits from it. So it's going to help you with everything you're looking for. But quite often lately, it was funny. I said to Laura, I'm selling so much NAD. She's like, because that's what you're focused on. You're talking about. So I think lately that's happened to me because I've had a lot of people come to me that are like, I don't really need to lose weight, or I only need to lose 5 or 10 pounds. And so I start them on NAD and they have such amazing experiences. And I'm also older. So I'm 46. So a lot of the women that I'm surrounded with are in menopause, and the menopausal help that you get from NAD, from reducing the inflammation and the cortisol in your body, is unbelievable. But here's the thing. The cost of getting sick is so much higher, you guys, than the cost of whatever it is that you want to put in your cart with LEMD. I'll tell you that because I've been through it. And we spent so much money. I think we added it up the other day, $52,000 out of our own pocket for my cancer journey. That's not even talking about the millions probably that my insurance had to pay, right? But that was me having to do things to make sure I felt okay during that time and do extra things. So the price of being sick is so much higher. And this is preventative. This is longevity. This is like so that your kids don't have to take care of you one day, so that you can go and enjoy those grandchildren one day, and so that you can enjoy today. Like, some of us are so miserable, we're not even enjoying today. So I don't know. To me, there's not a price. I would go sell some handbags. I would go have a garage sale. I do whatever I had to do to order whatever product it is that I think I need right now, because it is life changing.
Oh, you've given me goosebumps. That really gave me goosebumps all over my body when you said that. You know, that's a real message right there. That really is. Do whatever it is, because it costs more to be sick. Absolutely, it does. So, okay, we are going to wrap this up, guys. But thank you so much, Jess. Thank you so much, Blair, for sharing your stories. And Honey, for coming on. Have a few final words, Honey.
No, Blair said it all, guys. If you're questioning taking these medications, you're right. You either pay now or pay much, much more later in your health and costs and so forth. So take the jump if you haven't, invest in your health. And I'm excited we're coming out with other medications in the next coming weeks. We have other peptides and the pipeline. Samorelin is something I'm thrilled about, for it to come in tablet form, because I struggle with the injections. Like, there's injection overload with me. So I don't like to do it, but the tablets are going to be a game changer. It's going to help with muscle building. So now that you've lost the weight, you want to build muscle, you want to burn the fat, all the extra fat that's in there. So I'm excited. That's the one I would recommend after the GLP-1s, by the way. But no, that's it. Thank you all for being on this journey with us and spreading the message and the word of health. And this is it. Like, we're getting results. I love that. We're getting results. And that's only on the outside. You see the weight coming off. Like, imagine what's happening on an internal cellular level. So really excited for our journey and where we're going. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you for sharing your stories. We hope you got some value from this, guys, and we will see you again soon.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.